Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. You're watching iAllegedly. And got a good one for you today because, there's just no chance of a recession right now. Nothing to worry about. And, yeah, tell that to them. That's all I got to say. Is, a lot to cover. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. I came down to Moss Point today just because I wanted to see this area. I love this area when there's nobody here, when there's no tourists here, and it's just nice. But don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and also we do have a sponsor today, Patriot Gold, and I'll talk about them later. But Jan Hadius is the financial advisor and a market risk analyst over at Goldman Sachs. He says, listen, there is no chance of a recession. We're down to 15% chance of a recession. Guys, I don't know what you guys are living in. The world that you're living in, I don't know what you want to call it. Call it whatever you want. We got to come up with a name for what this economy is right now globally. Because if this isn't a recession, I don't know what is right now. As I drove down here, one thing that keeps getting sent to me from people here in Southern California is that our gas prices are through the roof. In 1 week's time, they've gone up to $6 a gallon right now. So absolutely crazy that we're paying this kind of money for premium gas at $5.99 a gallon. It's crazy. So Jan Hadius stepped forward and said, hey, listen, you're going to see incomes accelerate. You're going to see things turn around in 2024. I want you guys to tell me out there, how many of you seriously are financially concerned about making it to 2024? How are you going to get through Halloween, Christmas, the end of the year? How are you going to do that? Not that you're going to buy gifts, but just financially to pay your bills. How many of you are concerned that you're not going to make it right now? Seriously. I have so many people write me, guys, I'm telling you, I could just read emails from people that, Dan, I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know how we're going to get money for the business, how we're going to make payroll in 60 days. That's what I'm seeing. And then you get Goldman Sachs, the rich fat cash, saying how, it's not affecting them. Now, here's where I want to say, tell it to them. Somebody sent me the greatest story ever from just North Carolina. And this is the layoffs in the last month and a half from North Carolina. Think about this. Yellow Freight, 883 jobs. Intuitive Surgical, 91 jobs. Williamson Hospital Corporation, 173 jobs. Williamson Clinic, 22 jobs. Rural Health Clinic, 6 jobs. Klausner Furniture, 883 jobs. Liberty Healthcare, another 96 jobs. Mitchell Gold and Bob Williams, the furniture manufacturer, that was another 533 jobs. Now, the best thing is they're starting to get lawsuits from all these people because they haven't been paid. A lot of these people are in states that have warn laws where they're supposed to warn people about the, let me get you guys a good shot of this. They're supposed to warn everybody when they're going to have massive layoffs, and they didn't do it. Some of these places just blamed it, like the Mitchell Gold, the furniture manufacturer, blamed it on the lack of financing. Great. People still need to get paid. They still need to get their final paychecks. Man, oh man, oh man, right now. I am telling you that from somebody that's running a new business and making sure that people get paid and things like that, vendors, things like that, it's critical right now that you maintain these relationships. And Goldman Sachs is trying to tell you that this is not happening right now and that it's not a big deal right now. Where do you clear your head at? This is where I go. I'm telling you guys, this is just stunning. This is one of the most beautiful places. Down the street, parking's free, absolutely beautiful. The tide's in, so there's nobody sitting on the beach out here, okay? And just absolutely stunning. Stunning, stunning, stunning. I love the rich guys that are having this space, war. And I got a kick out of Burning Man and all the chaos that they had with that, with, people stuck there, the traffic, everything you've heard about, okay? But Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk are having a massive feud over the space race and commercializing satellites to space. Who cares, okay? That's not what I care about. Jeff Bezos has his project Kuiper, where it allows commercial activity to get satellites in orbit, and they did contracts that cut Elon Musk out of the deal, and they're suing each other over this. That's not the point of this. How many satellites has Elon Musk launched into space since 2019? Oh, 50, right, Dan? 60, maybe? 30, 25. 5,000, guys. 5,000 satellites SpaceX has launched into space since 2019. 5,000. What do they do? 50 at a time? I mean, it's crazy. 5,000 satellite gets launched into space each time. Isn't that, right now, isn't that nuts? So read the story below about this because it's absolutely fascinating. And look at this place, okay? This is Moss Point in Laguna, Moss Street. And the beauty of this is that when the tide goes out, this has all this moss, this green grass that grows on the rocks out here, and you can sit out here. You can't sit out on anything right now because it's just packed, but just a beautiful, beautiful spot out here. You know, isn't that nice? Just incredible, absolutely incredible. So share your thoughts on this stuff so far, because I was floored by it. Let's talk about our sponsor, Patriot Gold Group. The only thing that we can count on right now, guys, is instability with all this marketing news that we're getting right now. You need to protect yourself. The tide's coming in. You got to do something before it's too late. Call Patriot Gold today at 888-330-1431 and find out if an IRA or 401k backed by precious metals is the way to go for you. They will send you a free investor guide. So many of you have called, so many of you have signed up for this. Their customer service is great. They're the #1 rated gold company for 7 years in a row with Consumer Affairs. Their customer service is the best, but do this now before it's too late, guys. You have to get yourself into safe haven investments. Look at what oil is doing. It is shooting through the roof. The instability of the stock market is only going to get worse. You have to protect yourself and your family and your retirement. You get insurance on everything. It's time to insure your money by calling Patriot Gold today. Call them at 888-330-1431. Let them know that Dan from iAllegedly sent you. Do it before it's too late, guys. I love hearing corporate stories where people are upset about the obvious, something that we talked about months ago that finally came to happen. And that is Meta, Facebook, is having everybody come back to the office. And yesterday was the day. You really want us to come in 3 days a week? And they fought, kicked, and screamed. They were like petulant children that did not want to go in the office. And hey, listen, you guys are coming in, but because of the reluctance and the problems that we're having, we're going to make HR and your bosses follow, certain guidelines to make sure you're protected. So these people are basically monitored. They're going to have to check in. They're going to have apps, time cards. It's going to be awesome. I mean, these guys might as well work at Taco Bell because do you punch your card? I don't know that you're here unless you punch your card, Dan. Okay. So that's happening at Meta right now. So your boss, you can think your boss is a jerk. They're bad at Meta, and they're watching people, and they want them all back to work, which again, this is the way it is. You have a job, you have to go to your job. And nobody wants to work. Nobody wants to go to work. Nobody wants to do that, okay? But you have to. It's the way it works. Charter Communication is telling people right now, that's one of the cable companies, there is such a dispute with Disney and ABC and ESPN on payment for cable that they're saying, listen, just download Hulu and use Hulu. Don't use our service because it's too expensive right now. Now, here in Southern California, we don't have ABC. We don't have ABC TV and a lot of the cable companies right now because of this. Are you experiencing this? And, you know, I used to have the Disney Channel on all the time when my kids were young, and I wouldn't have it on to save my life right now, okay, for a lot of reasons, okay? But that's just me. So the fact that they're having problems with this, think about this. When you go out and you bundle cable, the days of bundling are over with. You know, let's say you're retired and you don't care about ESPN. Do you know that when you pay your cable bill every month, about $10 of that cable bill goes to ESPN? How many of you don't watch sports? How many of you hate ESPN? I didn't know that. Well, a lot of these people are upset because they're not getting it. Now, right now, if you don't have these programs, you can call your cable company and say, take them off my bill right now. They're doing that during the dispute times. So I'm telling people you should do this more often because it is crazy right now what they're charging for sports. You know, that's how come they can make billions of dollars, is that they have, you know, millions of households that they're clipping us for $10 a piece for. You know, a couple things that were interesting. You guys heard about the United Airlines situation where they had a computer glitch and all the planes were grounded for a couple hours, okay? Almost 400 flights were affected by that. That's not the end of it. I still think it's ransomware attacks and things like that that happen, because Chase Bank the other day had an issue with all their ATMs where nobody could get to the ATMs. Huh, really? And again, we're just supposed to forget about just a computer glitch. I'm telling you guys, you need to protect yourself with your money more than ever. You need to make sure you have cash out of the bank in case you can't go to the ATM, because I've seen it firsthand where you can't get money, where I couldn't get money. What am I going to do? Wow, you know, got to take my own advice. You have to check this out because it's only going to get worse. And it's only a matter of time until it gets worse. So it's kind of interesting that we're having all these computer glitches at the same time. We'll go down the street to another beach and go check that out and walk up the stairs as I film this next part. Student loan interest started accruing again on September 1st. And this is a problem with a lot of people. I want you to think about this. You had 3 years of no payments, 3 years of no interest, and you just sat there and didn't do anything about your student loans. You just sat there and kept the money. Huh? Well, Dan, I couldn't afford to do anything and I wasn't making any money. Well, how are you going to afford it now? Because come October 1st, you've got to start making those payments again. And people are in real trouble with this because, you know, we joked about this last month where there was a guy who bought a Toyota RAV4 and the RAV4 was for sale because Joe Biden didn't forgive, you know, the student loan debt, and I gotta make my payments now and get rid of this car. Ridiculous. The subprime credit card market is an absolute disaster. People are paying 30% on some credit cards and then getting behind on them. They're having late fees. You know, here's the thing that you guys don't just realize. It's not just the interest. You know, when you have certain credit cards, hey, we have a mandatory monthly reporting fee of $19 a month. We will report this credit card to the credit agencies, but it's going to cost you 19 bucks. That's a lot of money, guys. Adds up. So, just a matter of time, guys. A lot more to cover. When I first started doing this, we called it business news you can use, and I think I'm going to go back to that a little bit more because there's so much happening, so much recovering. Gold is spiking again because of Russia and the Saudis that are cutting production, and we're seeing gas prices here shoot up $1 in this state. What are they doing in your area? Now, we've got the highest gas taxes in the country. It's insane, and you know, nobody wants to talk about that. But when you look at things like Chevron is moving out of California. They're cutting their campus by like a third in the San Francisco area and getting rid of certain things here. They're moving over 700 employees to Texas and building 77-acre campus there, expanding the campus there, which is great. So this is just a beautiful spot up here. But guys, that doesn't affect anybody, Dan. It's no big deal. You know, Warner Brothers just announced that they're taking a huge massive hit with the strike, and that they're going to lose $500 million this year because of the strike. And I know people are going to write, who cares? I hope Hollywood, implodes on itself. That's great, but man, oh man, think about the poor people that lost their jobs. That we know of, there's 17,000 people that have lost their jobs right now because of the strike. And they may never get them back. You're seeing all these streaming service and all these problems with, cable companies where they're trying to negotiate these deals. And this is just the beginning of this, that they're not making money. And, it's an interesting time, to say the least, right now. Peter Schiff, I love Peter Schiff because eventually he's going to be 1,000% right. Okay, he's going to make Dan look like, Dan's right some of the time. Peter Schiff's going to eventually be right. But he's saying that, the United States government is bankrupted itself with all this lending, everything that they've done. Their deficit is out of control. The spending's out of control. There is no plan. And without a plan, you can't make any money. And when you can't make money, you can't borrow to infinity and beyond. You just cannot do it. I've told so many people this in business that, don't hit the line of credit unless you have to. Don't hit the line of credit unless you have a reason for it. And the problem with it is that lately with the credit cards, people are out borrowing with their credit cards to eat food. Now, it's one thing to go out to dinner and do things like that. I get it. That looked like a tick, actually. But one thing that's interesting is the streaming services and getting paid from them. Do you know that the people that were on Friends, the cast of Friends, they make $20 million a year still to this day for Friends, and it showed on Netflix. They get paid a ton of money for that. But then Aaron Paul steps forward. He was walking the picket line. He played Jesse on Breaking Bad and made a ton of money doing that, and he makes nothing now that it's on Netflix. Who's his agent? Who would work that deal out? There's a thing called name and likeness that you get paid when things are shown certain places. Okay, I kind of know about this a little bit, but what an imbecile. I'm sorry, but you're going to see more and more of this stuff. But as we watch these streaming services, they're not paying these people at all. So do you feel bad about that, or do you not care about it? I've given up on Netflix a long time ago, and the reason for that was it used to be that they would have a show would come out, and it would be an event, and you'd watch that show, and it would be great. And now it's just chaos. I mean, you cannot, decipher how many shows, what's on there. I have to have a really strong recommendation for anything, from anybody good to watch anything. So let me know what you think about that. Who do you have faith in right now when it comes to getting business news and your numbers and things like that? Because man, oh man, is it dwindling down. Because the thing that floors me, and I've told you guys about this before, is that you can go to some news sites and you'll see one news story saying things are bad, the next one, the same site talking about how, hey, we've saved it. Perfect example is this next story of how big banks have said, we've weathered the storm and we saved the banking crisis. This is how we did it. You know how they did it? By fleecing us, guys, by taking advantage of us, by going to the FDIC and getting bought out for their friends. That's how they did this. They didn't come up with a business resolution. They did not, fix things. They did not say, hey, we're not going to do this type of risky lending anymore. No, that's the last thing that they did. They just fixed it. They took care of their rich fat cat friends and left us in the lurch. and we get to pay bigger fees, bigger premiums, and you people that don't have good credit, you get to pay the most because you're going to see interest rates at 25 and 30%. Oh, Dan, you're exaggerating. Stop exaggerating. No one's going to pay that. Okay, Dr. Smith that writes me and tells me how, the economy's not that bad. Okay, retired doctor, tell me that, okay? The average person is having it very difficult right now. Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, he's talking about, great article, which I thought, again, was old news, but it came out today, and it was more economic chaos because of what the Fed is doing, and how people need to look at this and understand and get ready for what's coming for business to take a huge downturn. Think about this. The one thing that Shark Tank did with all these investors, Mark Cuban, Corcoran, Mr. Wonderful, Damon, all of them, okay? Lori, they all invested in hundreds of companies during this time. So they have companies of various sizes. Some are multi-million-dollar companies. Some are mom and pop places that can't get loans. So thank God you've got Uncle Rich Shark Tank that you can go hit up and get a line of credit if you need it, because it's chaos. Man, oh man, this is beautiful up here. We're just going to park it here for a second. So there's that. iPhone 15 just got announced. Who cares? Do you want a $2,000 phone? No, neither do I. But they're changing the charger for the first time in 10 years, okay? The UBS charger, USB charger, whatever it's called, they're changing the charger again. So if you want the new phone, you're going to get the new charger. What it's going to do also is make your existing iPhone obsolete faster. That's the scam that we're all being fed. Oh, is that how that works? Yeah, that's how that works. Well, they're getting pressure from the EU and from different countries that use a different charger, Dan, and they want to have that. Get an adapter, guys, okay? It's that simple, okay? When people from Australia, this is the thing I get a kick out of. Hey, when you come to our country, you have to have an adapter. Well, guess what? When you come to our country, you have to have an adapter. Oh, okay, that's a good idea. You know what I mean? Everybody wants what they have. But final thing for this little segment is factory orders. They just announced everything from July, and guess what? They're off. Durable good orders are off. We talked about this, yesterday, and that was bad, guys. It's things are not what they used to be. Things are not getting purchased like they did. You don't have the big purchases that you've had in the past. There's no season to buy this stuff right now. That's what's happening. So I'm sure you can't see it out there, but you've got some divers over there, and it's great, So share your thoughts on this stuff so far. It's amazing, a lot to look at out here. I'm going to end this video with this last story, and I love when you guys send me stuff, but I had somebody send me the story and they go, "Don't use my name." Okay, okay. There's a man Alvaro Alvarez, who let his 10-year-old kid drive his car. Okay, that's kind of crazy. Well, Mr. Alvarez was inebriated and completely intoxicated at 3:30 in the afternoon, and he let his 10-year-old boy drive his car. The cops saw a car swerving and going all over the place, so they eventually pulled the car over, and the driver was 10. But the best part is Father of the Year, Mr. Alvarez, he got in a little bit of trouble, but I got to read the charges that this guy had, okay? And now, they charged him with child abuse, child neglect, child endangerment, aggravated DUI. What's an aggravated DUI? An angry DUI. And man, oh man. And then unlawfully permitting a minor to drive. So, Mr. Alvarez, they say, is going to do a little time on this. But this brought up a great story, and I just told this story to a buddy of mine yesterday. So, the anonymous person that sent me that story, this is going to lead to a story of my own. When my son was 12, he was what you call a smartass, and he was disrespectful to his sister and to my late girlfriend, Lisa. And I was fuming. I was mad and I was angry about this. So instead of yelling I came up, what can I do to fix this? What can I do to have this kid listen to me and understand that he needs to be respectful to everybody, especially these two women in my life? So I took him to his elementary school and I said, you know what we're going to do tonight? You're going to drive the car. What? Yeah, you get to drive. Here you go. Here are the keys. So here he is, 12 years old, whipping through his elementary school parking lot, having the time of his life. Now we're going to stop. Now I want to talk to you about something. I want to explain to you that you are never to call your sister this name. You're never to say to Lisa, you're not my mom. She knows she's not your mom, but you're never to be disrespectful to her again. Of course, I went on for about a half an hour with this, and this totally worked. To this day, I asked my son, when did you learn to drive? And he talks about that, event in the parking lot. And it was great, absolutely fantastic. So he got the message and I said, you want to drive some more? Are you ever going to do this again? No. And he never did it again. He was completely respectful to Lisa. He was completely respectful to his sister, give or take a couple times. But totally worked. And I highly recommend things like that, a life event, because yelling and screaming wouldn't have done it. It wouldn't have had the same impact. Hey, remember that time I yelled at you when you were 12? No. He remembers this forever. It was funny because word got out because he told his teacher, what'd you do this weekend? I drove my car, huh? Yeah, my dad let me drive. It was great during a divorce to have a kid say that. So, he's exaggerating. Yeah. Anyways, I had one of the parents who was one of the coaches on another team. It's like, explain to me your thinking behind doing this and why you would do this. And he was, let's just call him, his name was Dick, okay? So Dick asked me this question and I said, let me explain it to you, Dick, why I did this. His jaw just dropped. Now what happened? Well, he listened forever. The last 3 weeks have been fantastic, really. So that guy did it with his kid and then came back to me and apologized. Oh man, it's the greatest thing ever. Totally listens, totally respectful, cleans his room, gets his homework done. Okay? So, Mr. Alvarez did this wrong. He just shouldn't have been drinking. Aggravated DUI. I'm not laughing at that. Please understand I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at the preposterousness of it and also how somebody sent this story. Do not use my name. Okay? It's kind of funny. It was a news story and the story is below. Take a look at it. But that worked for me. Let me know if your parents ever did anything with you that totally worked. And to this day, my son, I asked him about this when he was on his last visit, and he brings it up and remembers it vividly. And what did we talk about? And he remembers that. So please don't forget to hit the like button. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Share your stories, guys, at hello@iAllegedly. The more detail, the better, because then it gets to me, and then I can share it with everybody. Okay? Just look at this. Okay? Onward and upward, guys. I'll see you very soon.